Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha. Hello everyone. So on the 11th of January, the first day of the 12th lunar month, it was the Parinirvana and the rebirth day of the Great Master Fazhao. So the Great Master Fazhao is the fourth patriarch of Chinese Pure Land Buddhism, and today I feel like sharing his life story and also his rebirth. So Master Fazhao's life was full of what we may call supernormal experiences, and his life stories are extremely interesting. Master Fazhao was born during the Tang Dynasty in 747 CE in what was known as Yangzhou Xinshi County, nowadays Yang County, in Shanxi Province. When he was at the age of 11, he already took the monastic life and became a monk. And because he admired the first patriarch, Master Huiyuan, very much, so he went to Mount Dongling to single-mindedly cultivate Nianfo Samadhi. So all these ancient masters, they all tried to achieve the highest spiritual goal. Like we said before, to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, one doesn't need to realize Nianfo Samadhi. One only needs faith, vow, and Nianfo. And the cultivation of our Nianfo can determine the grade of our rebirth. But we see from all these Asian master stories, they all had extremely diligent cultivation and full dedication to their spiritual practices. So don't be alarmed or worried when you read about these master stories and to think that, oh, you have to be like them. So as long as you have faith, vow, and Nianfo, then you can attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So during one day of his meditation, he saw himself wandering in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land of ultimate bliss. So for those who have achieved Nianfo Samadhi, or you only have the thought of Amitofo and with no other thoughts, then you can actually see the Pure Land. And he found himself wandering in the Pure Land, and he saw there was a monk in shabby clothes standing next to Amitabha Buddha. And he asked the Buddha, who is this monk? And the Buddha replied, this is Master Chen Yuan from Manhen of Nanyue. So Master Chen Yuan is the third patriarch of Chinese Pure Land Buddhism. And the Buddha kept saying, because of his Nianfo cultivation, so his actual appearance has already appeared in the Pure Land. So at that time, Master Chen Yuan had not sought rebirth in the Pure Land yet, but due to his firm faith and vow and his extreme diligent cultivation, right? Master Chen Yuan also realized Nianfo Samadhi. So although he hasn't attained rebirth in the Pure Land, but he already has an appearance in the Pure Land. So Master Fazhao saw Master Chen Yuan's appearance in the Pure Land standing next to Amitabha Buddha. And after seeing this, Master Fazhao admired Master Chen Yuan very much, and he wished that he could see Master Chen Yuan right away. So he went to Manhen and found Master Chen Yuan under the cliff. And Master Chen Yuan was exactly wearing the same clothes like what Master Fazhao saw him wearing in the Pure Land. So Master Fazhao was very moved by this, and he then studied under the guidance of Master Chen Yuan. So Master Fazhao began to cultivate Nianfo intensely at Master Chen Yuan's Amitabha Bozhou Temple. So Master Chen Yuan's Bozhou Temple was the most prosperous Buddhist temple in the south of the Yangtze River at that time, and tens of thousands of people followed Master Chen Yuan to cultivate Nianfo. And Master Fazhao, due to his diligent cultivation, he received the true transmissions of the Pure Land teachings from Master Chen Yuan. And during one period of his Prayupana Nianfo practice, on the 14th day of the Prayupana Nianfo, so Prayupana Nianfo in Chinese means Bozhou Nianfo. This is the most difficult and challenging form of Nianfo practice, where the practitioners, for a period of 90 days, they will be constantly walking and Nianfo and paying homage to the Buddha. So there will be no rest, a very little rest, and no sleeping, no sitting for a period of 90 days. I just constantly walking in Nianfo and also paying homage to Amitabha Buddha. Okay, so this is the most difficult form of Nianfo practice, and very few Nianfo practitioners actually practice that nowadays. But in the ancient time, in ancient China, there were also lots of Pure Land practitioners that follow the Prayupana Nianfo practice. That's based on the Prayupana Samadhi Sutra. So don't worry, we don't need to practice Prayupana Nianfo. This is extremely difficult, only for a very few extremely advanced practitioners. And nowadays, not many people can actually do that. And like what the 13th Patriarch Master Yingguang recommended, people should just follow the much easier Nianfo practice. Master Fazhao was practicing Prayupana Nianfo at Master Chen Yuan's temple, and during his 14th night, he again went to Amitabha Buddha in the Pure Land, because his realization of Nianfo Samadhi, of his extreme diligent cultivation. So he had actually been to the Pure Land a few times and saw Amitabha Buddha. So this time he saw Amitabha Buddha and he asked the Buddha to share the wonderful Dharma. And the Buddha said there is a priceless fivefold assembly Nianfo Dharma gate that is extremely suitable for that turbid and evil world. So our world, this world that we are living in, is described as the turbid and evil world by the Buddha in the sutras. And this is indeed the truth. So Amitabha Buddha actually taught Master Fazhao about the fivefold assembly Nianfo. And Master Fazhao then created the fivefold assembly Nianfo according to the Infinite Life Sutra under the guidance of Amitabha Buddha. So nowadays we can still hear a lot of fivefold assembly Nianfo in some temples in China. And I have also uploaded the fivefold assembly Nianfo chant on our YouTube channel. And we can also practice Nianfo using the fivefold assembly Nianfo during our daily Nianfo practice. So this is an extremely good way to Nianfo. One will not get bored or be tired when one practice according to the fivefold assembly Nianfo, because it consists of 5 assemblies with different ways to chant the name of Amitabha Buddha, so one will not get bored easily, and it is extremely useful for our daily practice. In the year 767, while Master Fazhao was having his meal, inside his alms bowl there suddenly appeared auspicious 5-colored clouds, temples, mountains, forests, streams, and stone gates. About 5 leagues from the stone gate, he saw a temple named the Great Sage Bamboo Grove Temple. So at first, when Master Fazhao saw this, he thought all conditioned phenomena are illusions, so he wasn't being too much attached to them. But after a few days, again he saw the same sceneries in his alms bowl. So they were the auspicious 5-colored clouds, temples, and temples pavilions that were made of pure gold, intertwined with all kinds of treasures. And there was the great sage Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī and thousands of bodhisattvas surrounding him. All kinds of wonderful phenomena appeared to the master. And after Master saw this, he also shared the experience with a few monks. And 2 monks told him, the sage's spiritual powers are inconceivable, but from the shapes of the mountain you described, it seems to be Mt Wutai. So Mt Wutai is one of the 4 Buddhist mountains in China. It is also the Bodhimanda of Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī. So after this incident, he made a vow to pay homage to Mt Wutai, but due to the journey was very long and there were many obstacles, so he did not really set off for the journey. In the year 769, the Great Master established the fivefold assembly Nianfo Bodhimanda, a practicing center at the East Lake Temple in Hangzhou, and this attracted the auspicious five-colored clouds that enveloped the entire monastery, and within the clouds appeared Amitabha Buddha and the two great bodhisattvas, Guan Yin and Da Shizhi, which are the main assistants to Amitabha Buddha in the Western Pure Land of Ultimate Bliss. Their enormous bodies appear in the sky, and all the people in Manhen saw this incident. They all paid homage to the Buddha and Bodhisattva reverently and made offerings of incense to the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. So this phenomena lasted for about 4 hours before disappearing. That night, the master met an old man in the monastery, and the old man asked the master, "Master, you once made a vow to pay homage to Mt Wutai. Why haven't you gone yet?" And the master replied, "There are many obstacles. The journey is very long. How can I possibly get there?" So in the ancient China, there were not trains or flights or anything. If they had to set out for a journey, most likely by foot or by horse carts. And the old man replied, "As long as you are determined, how can the long and rugged road stop you?" And after that, the old man disappeared. The master was astonished, and he again made a vow to pay homage to Mt Wutai in front of Amitabha Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. In the year 770, the Great Master and 4 others arrived at the Buddha Light Temple in Mt Wutai. In that evening, there was a light from afar that shone on Master Fazhao's body, and Master Fazhao immediately followed the light and walked about 50 li, and he encountered a mountain with a stream at its foot, and there was also a stone gate. And in front of the stone gate, he met with 2 boys who claimed to be Shancai, or Sudana in Sanskrit, and Nanda. So the story of Sudana can be found in the Avatamsaka Sutra. And the 2 boys led him to the great holy bamboo grove temple. And the sceneries in the temple were exactly like what he had seen in his alms bowl. He entered into the Dharma hall and saw Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī in the west and Bodhisattva Samantabhadra in the east, and each preaching the Dharma to tens of thousands of beings, and the sound could be heard clearly. After reverently prostrating to the 2 great Bodhisattvas, the Great Master asked, "In the Dharma Ending Age," so the Dharma Ending Age is the period we are in now, ordinary beings are so far away from the sages, with little knowledge and wisdom, heavy karmic obstacles and defilements, and one's Buddha nature cannot be revealed. Within the vast and profound Buddha Dharma, which is the most suitable Dharma gate for all beings to practice. So Dharma gate means method of practice. So Master Fazhao is really asking this question for all of us. And Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī replied, "Just as what you are doing now, Nianfo is the best. There is none that can surpass Nianfo. Nianfo is the king of all Dharma gates. There is also another gate that is to make offerings to the 3 jewels. So these are called to cultivate blessings and wisdom together. These 2 Dharma gates are the most efficient and essential. In the past eons, I realized all-encompassing wisdom because of Nianfo and making offerings to the 3 jewels. All Dharmas, Prajnaparamita, deep meditation, and even all the Buddhas are born from reciting the Buddha's name. Therefore, you should know that Nianfo is the king of all Dharma." The Great Master then asked, "So how should one practice Nianfo?" And Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī replied, "To the west of this world, there's a Buddha called Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha's vows are inconceivable. You should constantly reciting his name, and you will definitely attain rebirth in his land of ultimate bliss at the end of life and realize enlightenment to the stage of non-regression. So this Nianfo Dharma Gate is highly recommended by Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī, and even Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī told us that in the past eons he realized Anuttaya Sanya Sambodhi, the unsurpassed enlightenment, because of Nianfo and making offerings to the three jewels, so to cultivate both wisdom and blessings together. So it's important in the Buddha Dharma that we cultivate both wisdom and blessings together. Upon finished speaking, Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī and Samantabhadra extended their golden arms and patted on the crown of the great master's head and bestowed him a prediction of Buddhahood, and said, "You will soon realize the supreme Bodhi due to the causes and conditions of Nianfo. If there is a good man or a good woman who wants to become a Buddha and quickly realize the supreme wisdom, there is no faster way than reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha." After listening to what the Bodhisattva said, the master eliminated all his doubts and he was filled with joy, and all sceneries disappeared in one instant. So the master was filled with a mix of joy and sorrow, and he marked the spot where this marvelous event took place. The great master had encountered many supernormal incidents, but he never revealed to anybody. And one night there was an Indian monk who came to the temple and told Master Fazhao, "The supernatural phenomena you saw at Mt Wutai should be revealed to all living beings, so they can generate bodhicitta and gain benefit from it. Why haven't you revealed it yet?" And Master Fazhao said, "It's not that I intentionally hide it, but I'm worried that some people may doubt and slander me after hearing about it." And the Indian monk said, "Even great sage like Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī, who is in this mountain, and there are still people slandering Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī. So what do you have to worry about? It's simply to let living beings to know about your experience so they can generate the great bodhicitta and associate with the great sage like Mañjuśrī." So the master recorded incredible scenes he has seen and recorded them in a book called The Records of the Great Holy Bamboo Grove Temple. The emperor at that time was Tang Daizong, who often heard the sound of Nianfo coming from the northeast direction, and eventually he sent someone to trace for the source of the sound, and they encountered Master Fazhao's temple, and he was teaching Nianfo to the masses. And the emperor invited Master Fazhao to come to the palace and teach people how to Nianfo, and he was soon regarded as the teacher of the country. So this is the first time in Chinese history where an emperor actually invited a monk to teach about Nianfo in the imperial palace. So it's common that in the history of China, where emperors often invited monks to teach about the Buddha Dharma, but this is the first time where the emperor invited a monk to teach particularly the Nianfo Dharma Gate. When Master Fazhao was in Chang'an, the ancient capital of China at that time, he often went into the streets and teach sentient beings how to Nianfo. Many people followed him, received the precepts, and adopted a vegetarian diet. And there was a butcher whose business was greatly affected because of Master Fazhao. So he generated hatred against the master and harboring a perverse intent to want to kill the master. And the master knew about his thoughts through his power of telepathy. And the master initiated a visit to the butcher and told him, "Do you wish to fall into hell? If so, then come and kill me." The butcher was absolutely stunned, threw his knife away, and prostrated reverently and repented. And he was willing to take the refuge and recite the name of Amitabha Buddha. One day during his nearfall meditation, he saw the Indian monk Buddhapala came to tell him, "Your Pure Land lotus has formed, and it will be open in 3 years." So Buddhapala is a famous monk and Buddhist translator in the Tang dynasty. He was most well known for bringing the Upanishad Vijayadharani Sutra from India to China and translated it into the Chinese. So Buddhapala told Master Fazhao that his Pure Land lotus will be open in 3 years. So when our lotus opens in the Pure Land, this is the time of our rebirth. And exactly after 3 years, the Great Master told the assembly, "I will now attain rebirth in the Pure Land." He sat in a meditative position and departed peacefully. Because of Master Fazhao's diligent Nianfo practice and his great effort in propagating the Pure Land Dharma Gate, he was regarded as the fourth Patriarch of Chinese Pure Land Buddhism. So I hope the story of Master Fazhao will inspire you to cultivate Nianfo diligently, and may we all be reborn in the land of ultimate bliss together in this lifetime. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha.